Alright, welcome back to WMAC Now with your host Chuck Stevenson coming at you with a fight review. So we're going to Miami, Florida for Combate Global on October 30th, special Sunday show for Combate. We're going to the Flyweight division. Amaya coming in undefeated at 4-0, taking on Alitzel Mariscal coming in at 2-3. And I guess this fight was done at short notice, because this really was confusing to me because Amaya was number 2 in the flyweight division, and Mariscal, for whatever reason, is ranked at atomweight, but has fought her last 3 fights at strawweight and lost all 3. So yeah, I guess this had to be like a last-minute fight because it made less sense than most of Combate's nonsensical matchmaking to begin with. But it ended up being a good display for one of the fighters, so let's go ahead and get into the fight itself. So first round, Amaya kept Mariscal at the end of her jab for the first minute. There was a little bit of clinch work with some good knees by both. Then there was a good display by Amaya of, she really did a good job of using her height and her reach advantage. Used her jab and also her front kick to keep Mariscal right where she wanted her, at the edge of her range. Because Mariscal was a lot shorter and stockier than Amaya. There was a late hip toss by Amaya. Got a little bit of ground and pound from the half guard of Mariscal before the bell sounded. Second round, Amaya continued to use her reach well and strung together combinations, mostly just keeping Mariscal at range. Mariscal, she ended up throwing wildly sometimes. Like, she really had to resort to just swinging like crazy. And she did get some hits in, but that was really the only way she could get her hits in. And then Amaya just did a really nice job of, like, Mariscal would swing wildly, and then Amaya would just throw a jab, land it, and that would, like, instantly cause Mariscal to, like, reset. Amaya started adding body kicks to her attacks at the halfway mark, getting in some really nice digs to the body of Mariscal. And then Amaya got a takedown at about 3 minutes 40 seconds. Wound up on bottom. Went a little bit too high on the back. I think she was hunting for... I thought she was going to hunt for the rear naked choke at first, but then she went high over the back. Maybe she was looking for like an inverted triangle or an armbar from there. Ended up on bottom. She hunted for the armbar and then a very late transition to the triangle before the bell. So I had Amaya up 2-0 after this. And then third round, honestly, the first minute carried out like the previous 2. And then Amaya, this surprised me, basically pulled Mariscal into her guard, onto the ground into her guard. And Amaya really went on the offense from the bottom. She kept her guard open. She worked high guard. She was throwing elbows from bottom. A little bit of light ground and pound from Mariscal on top. But I think, honestly, the overall offense of Amaya kept her from being able to do much. And then Amaya locked on the triangle. And this time, there was no escaping it for Alitzel Mariscal, forcing her to tap out at 3 minutes and 12 seconds of the third round for your winner via submission, Amaya. Gotta be honest, it was a pretty predictable outcome. Like I said, coming into this, it was a mismatch on paper, and it ended up looking like a mismatch in reality. And like I said, apparently it's a short notice fight. I actually was told that by Amaya herself on so sometimes that happens, but it was just really weird matchmaking to me. Anyway, like I said earlier, I really liked Amaya's use of her height and reach in combination with the jab and the push kick. And for a fighter in only her 5th fight, most fighters, particularly in the women's divisions, no offense, ladies, but it's true, and honestly, in MMA overall, it takes fighters a long time to really learn how to effectively use their height and their reach to their advantage. It seems like Amaya just had an easy time with it. And now whether or not she'll be able to do that in successive fights against other fighters who might have like a more statuesque build like she does, maybe we'll see a difference. But in this fight, she certainly knew how to use both to her advantage. Also, Amaya was very aggressive on the ground, showed a good killer instinct. She has a killer instinct overall. She's finished now 3 of her 5 opponents, which is very nice. A lot of positives to see about her. For Alitzel Mariscal, clearly, not a flyweight. She just does not have the frame for this. She was looking short, stocky, and overweight in this bout. She's more suited for strawweight. Probably maybe even needs to go back to atom weight. I don't know if she can get the weight back down. I think she had a kid at some point in the last couple years, and that's why the weight was still there. But maybe she can, get back down, definitely get back down to at least straw weight, possibly atom weight, because she just does not have the frame at flyweight, especially some of the more, like I said, the taller, rangier, the more statuesque opponents like Melissa Amaya. And, I said this in a previous video, but Amaya is a title contender in this Combate flyweight division. Anyway, let's talk things to work on for Melissa Amaya. Got to be careful going high on your opponent's back. I couldn't tell if she was going for a submission from there in the second round or if she fell off. But that's a danger of being way too high on your opponent's back. You risk falling off, and then, boom, you're on bottom, and then you're the one getting GMP'd on, or ground and pounded. Doesn't always work out that way. It didn't work out for her this time, but got to be careful in the future. For Alitzel Mariscal, when you're against a taller, rangier opponent, you got to use your footwork, and you got to work angles to get inside the distance. Mariscal, she was just reduced to just swinging wildly, trying to get in close. And she did get some good hits in there at a couple points in the fight, but it was way too far in between. So you got to learn that footwork. Got to work on the footwork. Got to learn how to cut angles. Now, for fights to make, let's stick with Alitzel Mariscal. Obviously, she's got to go back to strawweight. Like I said, at least strawweight, maybe even try to lose some more weight, get back down to atom weight. But strawweight bout, or strawweight at max. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She's not cut out for flyweight. Now for Melissa Amaya. Well, I already talked about this in my last video about title fights that Combate needs to make. Amaya is 5-0. She has the best record currently right now in Combate at flyweight. Put her up against, she's number 2 as well. Put her up against the number 1 flyweight in their rankings right now in Maritza Sanchez. Now, Sanchez has a fight coming up on, I want to say November 18th. It's 2 weeks from now. I don't know who Sanchez is fighting, but assuming Sanchez gets past whoever her opponent is, got to make this title fight in early 2023. This is the fight to make, the title fight, the inaugural flyweight championship for Combate Global. Number 1, Maritza Sanchez versus number 2, Melissa Amaya. It's the fight to make. Both have fun, exciting styles. Both go for the finish. And let's be honest here, both look good. Make the fight. Announce it ahead of time and build up anticipation for it. Let's do it, Combate. Anyway, those are my thoughts on this fight. Melissa Amaya defeats Alitzel Mariscal via submission due to triangle choke in the 3rd round. Let me know your thoughts on the fight in the comments down below. If you liked the video, please give it a like. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to Wmma Now, the best most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.